take no more games. Say that. Just can't take no more games. Feel you on that one, my man.
Okay, Friday edition of the After Show. Got Wink Justice with a wink over here on the East Coast.
And Justice over here on the West Coast of the contiguous United States. It is Angle of Repose Friday. So, maybe we were angling in our repose a little bit too much and got a delay. It's another one of those acts of God. Whatever the ISP says you can do, you can do. Hey, are you reclining in your Barca Lounger reading Angle of Repose by Wallace Stegner? Or how are you doing, Wade?
Not yet, but we'll be soon, I think, surely. Not bad. It is 74 degrees, and that's pretty much going to be the high for the day, I think. So it's headed southbound into the mid-60s, I think, later today. Mind you, get in the chat. Just go to netrootsradio.com. Scroll down the bottom of the page, and on the right-hand side of the bottom of the page, there is a link to the chat. So click that. Join us there.
And to the leftish of the chat room link are the Contribute Donate buttons, and that is how we are able to pay our bills and keep Resistance Radio beaming 24/7. Thank you for your generosity on that. Just a small reminder, after show podcasts can be had by way of Spreaker. Shortly after the end of the show, the raw data file is posted by Wink, and he'll let you know about that on social media. And then later on, the perfected daily file comes on Podbean, iTunes, TuneIn, etc., etc. And once again, Wink will let you know on social media when that is posted as well. Here along the banks of the Rogue River in the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon, we are currently under an excessive heat warning and heat advisory. It's rather nice right now. It's 54. And for some reason, Weather Underground says it feels like 53.
Ah.
Well, okay, I'll take their word on it. And we will be going up to 103 today. A low tonight of 65. Then tomorrow, the day of the big town parade where we draw, people from all over the state. It's called Rooster Crow. And it's just like it sounds. There's like a rooster crowing contest with roosters and humans. Now, they don't compete against each other. I mean, the humans compete with themselves, and the roosters that the humans bring also have their own little competition. I should suggest that to the town officials and ask them, maybe we should have a competition between the humans and the roosters, huh? And it's going to be 110 tomorrow, Wink. Wow. 110 for the parade. Oh, remember when I mentioned, I'll get into the weather here in a second, but remember when I mentioned that I went on the local area message board, the neighborhood message board?
Yeah.
And normally it's like, well, I got tomato cages. You want them? Come over and pick them up. Or, people have organic eggs for sale, brown eggs, duck eggs, goose eggs, any number of these kinds of things.
Pretty cool, actually, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I meant to stir up the pot. Maybe I didn't. I just, but you may remember this. I asked my neighbors on this message board that for the Rooster Crow parade this year, would they be flying the Nazi swastika? I mean, the Dixie swastika?
Yeah.
Again? And oh boy, people are still upset about that. And I haven't, mentioned anything about that. I purposely stayed away as soon as I realized that I lit a powder keg.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I should have just gone to the town hall and asked them if that was going to be the case. Because guess what the theme this year is for Rooster Crow? Just guess. Just guess. You're right.
Maybe something about the Donald. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you're close.
Yeah.
The theme this year is Redneck Rooster Crow.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Which means, yes, we will be getting the Dixie swastika. And I don't know, maybe Nancy Pelosi will be hung in effigy on the back of a flatbed.
Yeah.
Or maybe both Hillary and Nancy Pelosi. Maybe it's a little too late for Kamala Harris, but they'll catch up.
Yeah.
Maybe Elizabeth Warren, any woman
right
on the Democratic side that has any kind of, we'll say power.
Yeah.
Here along the banks of the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon, it is going to be 103 and 110 tomorrow. Oh, boy. And then 105 on Sunday, Wink. Gee.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. Well, weather from around the world is brought to you by weather stations that people purchase and they put in their backyards, on their penthouse flats and patios from around the world. London is now 75 and mostly cloudy. Paris is 80 and clear. Rome is 85 and clear with a weather advisory. Kiev is 64 and raining. Kabul is 97 and clear. Another great day for an occasional bomb shower. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It's always a good day.
Well, it's better when it's clear, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
No question.
And Hong Kong is 80 and clear. Tokyo is 74 and clear. Sydney, that's in Australia, is 54 and clear. San Francisco, 57, mostly cloudy. And New York, 81 with scattered clouds. And that is weather from around the world, brought to you by People's Weather Stations from around the world. Okay. Oh, God. boy, I don't know. You almost think that the Republicans and especially Mitch McConnell come from another planet. What the hell, Wink? What the hell do they think? It's almost like they think that Putin's going to hand him another election. I think you're there. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I am. I muted. Just having a little coffee here. Yeah.
But I'm asking you a serious question. Don't the Republicans, and specifically, I don't know, maybe I'll add, I mentioned Mitch McConnell, but let's add Ryan. Okay. You know.
Oh, yeah. All that leadership is.
Don't they come
yeah.
from another planet?
Yeah.
And then I made mention that it's almost, they're acting like as if Putin will hand them another election. Now, of course, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the health care bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the one that will not only destroy Medicaid, Medicare, take people off of their insurance plans, but it will also, if you happen to have like a company health plan, ooh, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
somebody
this
making.
Is what I don't get, since they're all capitalists over there on the right wing. How are these insurance companies going to make money if they don't have any customers? That's right. Yeah.
Guy making $57,000. Wink. Guy making $57,000.
Yeah.
62. That's us.
Yep.
Guess what their premium will be? Premium will be for a year. Just guess.
Probably about $600 a month, $7,000 a year, give or take.
Well, you're close.
Yeah.
$22,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's your premium.
Yeah.
7,000, Wink. You're going to have to triple that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
well,
when you talk to your InfoWar, just when you talk to your InfoWar buddies at the diner,
yeah,
ask them if they happen to have 22,000 laying around.
Yeah, for just for healthcare,
and then ask them, ask them what they're going to do instead.
Yeah. Yep.
And what will that be? Don't have insurance. Don't have a doctor. I'll just go to the ER.
I just go to the ER, take care of, no problem. Yeah.
And where's the ER? Not anywhere near you.
Right.
So I just want to remind folks, people were brainwashed about Hillary Clinton. And it didn't start with the Russians. And people on our side that bought into that brainwashing. Because what I don't understand is that the same BS that we heard back in the 90s, they started, again, the same rhetoric. So what is that about? Is that because she's a flawed candidate? Is that because she has some sort of alignment with the deep state? No, it's because people were brainwashed and they didn't take the intellectual maturity in which to realize that they're aping the rhetoric from the other side and buying into their argument somehow. And guess what's happening again? Somehow Nancy Pelosi needs to be replaced. We need somebody new. Just saying. And it's worse. And it's worse when it comes from supposedly our side. All right? Because who does that benefit? Doesn't benefit us. It always benefits the other side. And that's what I mean by intellectual integrity. It feels good in the moment, doesn't it? Oh, Nancy Pelosi, she's like some sort of pampered elite. What does she know about real people? And that's like from our side. How about looking at what her agenda is? What do you think her agenda is, Wink? Making sure that everybody else has to suffer windmills off their coastlines? Yeah, how about having those California liberals have some oil derricks off their coastline, see how they like it? Well, we did from the late 1800s on, and they're still there. I'm talking about intellectual integrity that prevents the rise of what we have at the moment. So I'm sorry. That was a long rant. I should have started 4 minutes earlier. Damn ISP causing us to be delayed. These are the issues we're going to attend to today, because it's Friday. It's the end of the week. It's almost like an Anything Goes Friday.
Yeah.
So an Anything Goes rant. Now, I'm upset about Nancy Pelosi being attacked so vehemently. Because Kamala Harris was attacked just recently, and, it doesn't matter who it is. They're going to do it to Elizabeth Warren. And what are we going to do? Ape the same rhetoric? Come on. Do not buy into the brainwashing. Do not do it. And how do you not buy into it? Is that you refuse to adopt their rhetoric. Death panels? Give me a break. Don't ever use that. Deep state. There's no such thing as a deep state here. Maybe a secret government. I mean, Ollie North ran one. Deep state? Come on. That's about Hungary and Turkey, all right? Look into it. I'm talking intellectual integrity. I'm sorry. It's bad enough the stories we're going to be attending to today without adding to it, huh? Okay, this is quite sad. The son of late reggae icon Peter Tosh is beaten into a coma in a New Jersey jail. Of course, his dad was killed by a gunman who stormed his place. And, maybe it's just a continuation of that. Who knows? The Pizzagate shooter is sentenced to 4 years, while those who spread the original conspiracy theory are still advising Trump and broadcasting their InfoWars stuff all over the airwaves for gullible people to hear and go, I don't know, it sounds weird, but it could be true. Pizza place didn't have a basement even. Come on. And the Trump administration cuts funding to a nonprofit group dedicated to de-radicalizing white nationalist and neo-Nazi extremists. Because why would you want to mess around with his base? Yeah. On the last half, it is the Friday News Dump and Recycling Center news that has been repurposed with a purpose. Oh, yeah. You think that that's a big old wire cable spool turned into a table. No, it's much more than that. Did you ever make one of those, Wink? Did you ever make like?
Yep.
I mean, you like. I remember I had like a big truck, big pickup, long bed, 3/4 ton, 1 ton axle. Yeah, it was a great truck. But I snagged a pretty big one. You could sit 8 around it.
Pretty good size.
But, oh, man, the work to get it so that I could get some epoxy.
It took a little work.
Put a shell on it. But, man, was that thing heavy. But it was substantial, and it did the job.
They're not going to blow away on you, that's for sure.
That's for sure. And if you do it right, your whole place can burn down, and that will still be there, and you'll have at least a piece of furniture to take to your other place.
Heck yeah, exactly.
Okay, now Trump will eventually fire special counsel Robert Mueller. And when Mueller files suit to keep his job, it will become the most important litigation in American history. And currently hit by swarms of earthquakes, if the Yellowstone supervolcano, we call it a caldera, but, supervolcano has a better punch to it. If the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts, most of the country will be covered in ash up to 1 meter deep. No wonder they don't care, Wink. No wonder they're just like, it's either the asteroid or the Yellowstone caldera.
Right.
Man. Getting it in stereo, as we used to say in the old days. All that. Plus the Connect, Unite, Act Daily Codes community calendar and more. If you can't tell, there's always more on the after show. with that ever so fine fellow over there on the East Coast. His name is Wink. This guy back over here on the West Coast. My name is Justice. And we do this 5 days a week for an hour-ish in this particular specific and very peculiar tear in the fabric of space-time because who loves you, baby?
Exactly.
Wow, it's always a drag when you have to sort of like take a gulp so you can finish the sentence. Otherwise, you're going to choke and cough or something. I hate that.
Yep.
Man. I don't know. Am I supposed to be worried about this healthcare thing? I mean, it's not going to pass. No one in their right mind would vote for it. And
I don't
then
think it's going to pass the Senate. No. I think it's going to pass the House, but I don't think it's going to pass the Senate.
Of course it will pass the House.
Yeah.
But didn't I just say the operative term there? No one in their right mind
would
vote for it. And we don't have any. There's few in their right minds.
In the Senate, yeah. There's a few.
I don't know.
Not many in the House.
I mean, Mike Lee.
Not any Democrats vote for it. They ought to be hanged, I think. Yeah.
We went through this yesterday. Mike Lee complained. He was on the working group. He complained he didn't know what was in it, and it turned out they adopted one of, some of his plans. He didn't even know about it. And then his plans are like, well, we'll just have to get rid of Medicaid. These poor people voted for the black guy. Got to punish him. Get him off. I don't know. What is it? 10,000, 11,000 births every day in America? And Medicaid takes care of 44% of those? Eee. I don't know. Who benefits, Wink? Who benefits by infant mortality increases? Would that be somebody from America benefiting, or would that be from somebody outside trying to destroy us? I guess somebody could say, well, that's just crazy talk. I mean, look at what they said about Hillary, and none of that was true, so anything they happen to be saying about Trump has to not be true either. See how it works? Do you see how the brainwashing works? They throw up this BS, and everybody knows it's BS. So when they actually endeavor in actual crimes and treason, you just think it's BS off the top. Both sides do it. You know how you can tell when the brainwashing works? When you hear somebody say both sides do it.
Yeah. Yep. Which is most of media.
Now, this is pretty much a straight-up news story. I considered going to some of my music sites to get a breakdown about what people think and what this really means. But I'm not able to triangulate the story properly enough. I have my own ideas that probably go back to his dad getting killed, which may have had CIA involvement, some people say. But even that, that could be crazy talk. It could have been just simply one studio pissed off that Peter Tosh was, on their turf or something. I don't know. Okay, this is out of NewJersey.com by Sarah Jerde. Hackensack. The family of the late reggae icon Peter Tosh wants the U.S. Department of Justice. Finally, somebody refers to it correctly rather than the Justice Department.
Yeah,
because I'm the Justice Department.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, call the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate after they claim his son was beaten into a coma while he was being held in the Bergen County Jail. In 2013, I remember this too, Yarwa McIntosh, now 37, was arrested after police found more than 65 pounds of cannabis hidden in the trunk of a rented car he was driving. I'm shocked. Somebody from the Rastafarians having pot? Shocked. He began serving a 6-month sentence in January after pleading guilty to the possession. 6 months. That's not so bad. But they got him where they wanted him, apparently. In February, McIntosh's mother received a call from Hackensack University Medical Center that her son needed a life-saving procedure. after being attacked in the jail. McIntosh, now at a hospital in Boston, where he's from, has brain damage, is unresponsive, and in a coma. Family attorney Jasmine Rand said. The way in which he was beaten appears to be a form of cruel and unusual punishment that he suffered while he was incarcerated. We want more information and physical evidence. The lawyer said they have not received any audio or video evidence of what happened beyond a basic incident report that stated another inmate was involved. You mean another inmate was told to go beat the crap out of the guy? At the behest of, could it be somebody inside? Somebody outside? Somebody in the guard shack? And wouldn't it be weird that in this instance, you can't go anywhere in a jail without being monitored, right? Wouldn't it be weird that in this instance, the cameras just didn't work this time? Damn. Darn it. And the cameras that, the guards, everybody were, no, they weren't working either. Darn it. Just had a glitch that day. These things happen. And then you look into it, and it's like, hasn't happened in like 3 years. This is the first time it did. And the last time was because some inmate got the crap beat out of him they didn't like. Speculation on my part, but I bet you find out that's what's going to happen. Well, the lawyer says the family has filed a notice of intent to sue and wants the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate. And, of course, with Sessions in there, do you really think he's gonna? Nah. Yep, of course, Tosh was a founding member of the Wailers, along with Marley, Bunny Wailer, and one of his most popular songs, Legalize It, is about legalizing cannabis, as if we didn't know that. And Tosh was killed by gunmen in his Kingston, Jamaica home in 1987. And the younger McIntosh is a father of 4. Damn it. I don't know. Jail and prison, are tough. But this is jail. This wasn't even prison, wink. Usually don't get the crap beat out of you in jail. Usually put you in prison for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Another way that you can tell that the brainwashing works is when someone takes a semi-automatic weapon and starts shooting up a place because he heard from InfoWars that there was some sort of child sex ring and Hillary was involved.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There's that.
Of course, when I hear child sex ring, the first thing comes to mind isn't Hillary, but, a guy who ran like teenage Miss Universes and would go in there into the dressing rooms of these underage girls.
Yeah.
Why? You know why he did that? Because he could. I mean, this isn't made up stuff. I mean, this is what he did. But let's blame Hillary. Okay, this is an article by Alan Pike out of Think Progress. The man who fired a rifle inside a Washington, D.C. pizza restaurant not only fired a rifle inside there, he fired a rifle in there with a bunch of families with little kids ranging in age from infants in those little, carrier things that mom and dads wear on the front of them.
Yep.
And, to toddlers and 8-year-olds. Obviously a child sex ring going on in there. I heard it on the radio. My radio. Okay, so fired that gun after being inspired by internet conspiracy theorists convinced it was the center of a child sex trafficking ring that involved Hillary Clinton, has now been sentenced to 4 years in prison. Prosecutors had asked a judge to put Edgar Welch behind bars for 4.5 years in order to deter other would-be vigilantes similarly inspired to acts of violence. The 4-year term handed down Thursday followed both a guilty plea and a public letter of contrition from Welch. They probably knocked off the half year for what he already served. Welch will be on supervised release for 3 years following the completion of a sentence, during which he must undergo a mental health evaluation. He was also ordered to pay about $5,700 in restitution for property damage he caused. Well, I think 4 years in prison at those depressed wages, I think he can pay it off then. The so-called Pizzagate conspiracy theory was stoked in large part by the right-wing website. Guess what it is, Wink? Infowars. And its fringe leader, Alex Jones. So fringe, he's a personal advisor to the President of the United States, so-called. Whose foaming coverage of U.S. politics has been promoted for 4 years by more mainstream conservative media figures, and starting last year by then President-elect Donald Trump. Yep, Trump, whose credibility war against what he calls fake news has been a damaging central tactic throughout his campaign and tenure as president, later gave Infowars a press credential. Because the fake news is real and the real news is fake. That's just the way it's going to be. The black guy liked the real news, so we're just going to have to not like the real news now. We should convince Trump that, really, the black guy thought that breathing was a really good thing for people to do. Maybe you should stop it. And he would take it to mean, well, certainly, we will make all those people, poor people who voted for him, stop breathing. Thank you very much. Better not tell him that then. Welch was not the first Pizzagate believer to show up in person at D.C.'s Comet Ping Pong. Groups of right-wing internet detectives bent on proving that Clinton and her close associates had moved child pornography and underage sex slaves through Comet's doors, had protested outside, and even entered the restaurant on occasion last summer and fall. But while Welch wasn't the first to take the wild-eyed fervor of the Pizzagate web mob out of the comment section, he was the first to engage in physical violence in pursuit of his imagined truth. Welch drove up from North Carolina with a gun, walked into Comet brandishing the weapon, and fired a shot into a door, fortunately striking no one. He surrendered to police shortly afterward outside. It is stated here that Jones and the Infowar crowd have formally apologized for and deleted their Pizzagate coverage, an unusual move for the veteran pot stirrer and anti-government flamethrower. I wonder when he got the press credential, before or after he did that. I'll tell you, just as an aside, why it's stupid to be firing a gun at any situation. A tragic event occurred last night in Palmdale, California. Cops are called out around 3:30 in the morning for what they were told was loud music playing. They come to wherever this neighborhood, and some stray pit bull from a neighbor's yard lunges at a cop, bites him in the knee. So hearing all this commotion, people come out on their front doorsteps to find out what the hell's going on. And a 17-year-old kid sees the neighbor's dog running down this alleyway, and he goes to grab it, and the dog lunges away from the kid, and two cops fire a volley of shots, ricocheting off the pavement, hitting the kid and killing him. And in the process, also hitting one of their fellow officers in the knee. Nice. So don't be firing guns. You don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes they go through drywall and hit the neighbor on the other side in the heart, killing her, which also happened here yesterday or the day before. What idiots. Remember the good old days when the NRA actually taught gun safety?
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's what their deal was, actually. Mostly involved in that. Yep. This
last story is fairly quick, and we'll get to our Jim Hightower break and the Connect, Unite, Act Daily Coast Community Calendar. This is an article by David Ferguson out of Raw Story. Life After Hate, a nonprofit group dedicated to de-radicalizing white nationalist and neo-Nazi extremists and combating the rise of right-wing extremism, is losing its funding under the Trump administration. And this comes on the heels at the same time that the State Department under Tillerson specifically are getting rid of the only anti-Semitic committee within the State Department, who are tasked to teaching State Department employees and diplomats how to spot anti-Semitism and then what to do about it. Oh, we don't need that. Well, Politico Playbook Plus reported that the DHS's $10 million grant program countering violent extremism was stalled but is set to resume on Friday. And Life After Hate was supposed to receive a $400,000 grant in the last days of the Obama administration, and that money was delayed as the program was reviewed and assessed. Oops, didn't get it done before the new administration took over. And the Trump administration dropped them from the new grant list that's getting announced today. The group has said a 20-fold increase in calls for help since Election Day from people trying to disengage from neo-Nazism and white supremacy, as well as friends and family looking for help for someone they know. Local police departments in L.A., Denver, Las Vegas, and other cities are receiving money to fight right-wing extremism, but Life After Hate is getting nothing, said its founder, Christian Picciolini. And the DHS offered no comment as to why the program has been defunded. Well, we can only speculate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to the aforementioned Jim Hightower break. We'll come back, go through the Connect, Unite, Act Daily Coast Community Calendar, and then the Friday News Dump and Recycling Center for the last, well, whatever left of the half there is. You are listening to the After Show on Netroots Radio with Wink of Justice, and we will be right back.
I think of freedom in positive aspirational terms, such as found in FDR's Four Freedoms or in the uplifting songs of freedom sung by oppressed people everywhere. But right-wing ideologues have fabricated a negative notion of freedoms derived from their twisted concept of individual choice. You're, quote, free to be poor, to be politically powerless, or to be ill and uncared for, they say. It's all a matter of decisions you freely make, and our government has no business interfering with your free will. This is what passes as a philosophical framework guiding today's Republican congressional leaders. For example, they say their plan to eliminate health coverage for millions of Americans and to cut such essential benefits as maternity care for millions more is just a matter of good old free market consumerism. As explained by Jason Chavitz, a Utah Tea Party Republican, Americans have choices, and so maybe rather than getting that new iPhone that they just love and they want to go spend hundreds of dollars on that, maybe they should invest in their own health care. Lest you think that Jason must simply be an oddball jerk, here's a similar deep insight from the top house Republican, Speaker Paul Ryan. Freedom is the ability to buy what you want to fit what you need. Yes, apparently you are as free as you can afford to be. As Vice President Mike Pence recently barked, Trump cares your own philosophy is all about, quote, bringing freedom and individual responsibility back to American health care. This is Jim Hightower saying, the GOP's austere view is that getting treatment for your spouse's cancer should be like buying a new pair of shoes, a free market decision by customers who choose their own price point, from Neiman Marcus to Goodwill, and some go barefoot. But then, that's their choice.
If you'd like more of Jim Hightower's real populism, check out the Hightower Lowdown. Jim's monthly newsletter gives you the real lowdown on which corporations, by name, are doing what to the middle class, our environment, and our democracy. Each month, the Hightower Lowdown brings you facts you didn't know, along with actions you can take to fight back. It also comes with a sense of humor. Hightower believes we can fight the gods and still have fun. Plus, get this, it's cheap. Only $15 brings you 12 issues a year. For real populism, go to hightowerlowdown.org.
You are listening www.newforceradio.com.
Please hang up and try again.
From a point at sea to the circles of your mind, a new force is at work for planetary transformation. New radio for a new Earth.
Okay, we're back.
And indeed, we are back, and thank you for sticking with us. This is the After Show with Wink and Justice. Justice along the banks of the Rogue River, the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon. Wink is in upstate New York, 21 on the East Coast. Our crew are the ethereal creatures residing in the clouds whose advanced intergalactic technical abilities allow Nevers Radio, the Spike Extension, the After Show to span the globe, the solar system, out past the Oort cloud, out past any kind of bridge of stars that we could conjure up in our vivid imaginations, and even beyond that.
Exactly.
Traveling on filaments of light. Yes. Okay, today's Connect, Unite, Act Daily Coast Community Diary is facilitated as it is every Friday by Smiley Creek. And she opens up the diary with the question, are the monkeys still relevant? Now, some of us would argue the monkeys were never relevant.
Yeah, that's it. When were they ever relevant, I guess, is the actual question.
Just hear me out now, except for the fact that, some great songwriters wrote some
absolutely
pretty catchy tunes. You know, they were,
I'll give them that.
Carole King, Neil Diamond. Yeah, people can say, but they put some catchy tunes. You know, they had the hook, eight bar measure. You got that little 4-measure hook in there, right there. And it was classic rock and roll kind of stuff. I mean, not classic rock and roll, but it was
60s pop. There's no question about it.
There you go.
And really good 60s pop.
And I don't know. I was into the Velvet Underground at that age.
Go. Yeah.
When the Monkees came out, the Velvet Underground were coming up.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. A lot of bands coming out. And,
So. Put the Velvet Underground on TV, and I would have watched that on a Saturday morning.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, and where are we here? Let's see if things are out of order. I guess maybe we've had some events occur already. Well, Thinking Fella and Ojibwa have been organizing the Epic Glacier National Park meetup, the 3rd annual one, by the way. Held this year, June 30th through July 2nd. Get a hold of Thinking Fella and Ojibwa if you'd like to take part in that. That's coming up in about a week. The Colorado community folks are having a potluck in Southwest Denver proper on July 16th at 1 p.m. at Colorado Tim's house. Well, that's fantastic.
Not bad.
It's going to be politicians who may come. Stay tuned. Cosmeo Calo Tim to attend. Appropriate links are included, of course, in my show notes, so check that out. The Daily Coast Cheers and Jeers annual dinner occurring, of course, this year in Atlanta, Georgia for Netroots Nation, Wednesday, August 9th at 5:30 p.m. at the White Oak Kitchen and Cocktails, 270 Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. And Cosmail Navajo to attend that. And, it looks like there is an Ask Me Anything about Daily Co's Caucus, Thursday afternoon, August 10th. Stay tuned for room number and time. Oh, this may be Co's at Netroots Nation, so stay tuned for that. The Daily Co's Asheville group are having a August meetup in Mount Mitchell State Park, 2388 State Highway 128 in Burnsville. Cosmail Randall to attend that. And that is your Connect Unite Act Daily Coast community calendar for the 23rd.
Yeah.
23rd of June. We're deep into summer now of 2017.
Yep. Flying by.
My, oh my, oh my. Okay. This article comes out of Moyers and Company. You know, Bill Moyers.
Yes.
Public intellectual now, I think we could properly call him. And Stephen Harper writing for Moyers and Company. Eventually, Trump is likely to fire special counsel Robert Mueller. Trump's repeated statements about the Russia hoax, along with his apparent attempts to influence the FBI's investigation, warrant a close look at the process by which he could do so. Equally important are the limited ways to stop him, whether by design, inadvertence, or a combination of both. Trump and his minions, including Newt Gingrich and Trump's lawyers, have been laying the groundwork for what could become America's defining moment. You know, Newt Gingrich is such a bottom feeder. You know, you can buy him off with just a pissy
Snickers
little...
bar, maybe?
Let's hear me out. A pissy little ambassadorship for his wife to the Vatican.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm a little curious because I remember that my mom's second marriage wasn't recognized by the church for a long time because you couldn't get divorced. Only you could have an annulment. And once you have kids, there's no annulment. Okay. I don't know.
There's some marriages, man. That had to be, oh my God. Yeah.
I guess
I
American
can't
Catholic.
imagine 50 years in a marriage you didn't want to be in. That's amazing.
I guess American Catholics and failed marriages think differently now, and for good reason apparently.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. To stop the investigation, Trump's cleanest path requires that one of his loyalists occupy a Senate-confirmed position in the Justice Department's chain of command. With Attorney General Jeff Sessions' recusal, the power to end the inquiry has now landed in Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's lap. But Sessions' recusal also gave Rosenstein the authority to appoint a special counsel when he tapped Robert Mueller for the job. It was a game changer. Under DOJ special counsel regulations, Trump cannot fire Mueller directly. I think I hear like a jet or a prop airplane. That was really weird. Like maybe a lawnmower over in your area.
No, I think it's maybe a helicopter. I'm not really sure.
Maybe that's what it is. Uh-oh. They're holding in on the signal.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, back to the story. Only the Attorney General can pull the trigger for misconduct, dereliction of duty, incapacity, conflict of interest, or for other good cause, including violation of department policies, and that's as part of the DOJ regs. For now, that determination rests with Rosenstein. If he drops out, next in line are Associate Attorney General Rachel Brand and U.S. Attorney Dana Boente. After that, things get murky because the Senate has not confirmed any other DOJ official. That's important because without Senate confirmation, even temporary advancement to department leadership is problematic. Now, who runs the Senate? Who held up a Supreme Court nominee for over a year? Who benefits by this? Is it us? Or is it an outside entity intent on weakening the United States, removing it from its leadership in the world? And maybe we should lose our leadership in the world. And I would think not at the expense of, what we consider to be our way of life. Like an electric grid that works and we don't have to wait in bread lines.
Exactly.
Oh, we're sorry. We're going to run out of our allotment of imitation maple syrup. We're out of our imitation maple syrup for the month. When you come back with your ration cards, maybe we'll have the imitation maple syrup then. Okay. Guess that's what people want, because they hate us, Democrats, more than they hate, I guess, buying maple syrup with a ration card, and they run out of it before you even get to use a ration card for it. Okay. As the FBI's Russia investigation intensified, so would have Trump's desire for DOJ loyalists whom he could direct to end it. That might explain Trump's curious about face involving Manhattan's U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara. In November, Trump had personally asked Bharara to remain on the job during his administration. But on March 10th, a week after Sessions' recusal from the Russia investigation, Trump made a stunning reversal. Now, part of this we completely forget, Wink. So let me emphasize this, please. He fired Bharara along with every remaining U.S. attorney in the country except for Rod Rosenstein and Dana Boente, with no replacements for any of them. Every single U.S. attorney, hundreds. Because they're getting a little bit too close to what really happened, weren't they? But not those two, not Rosenstein and not Dana Boente. Overnight, the Justice Department was without any Senate-confirmed officials except for the three who now remain: Sessions, Rosenstein, and Boente. Now, it's spelled in a German way that would denote an umlaut. So I would normally pronounce it Boente. Boente. I'll say Boente anyway. After Trump cleared the board, Rosenstein became a problem for the president, starting with his appointment of special counsel Mueller. Then Rosenstein testified before the Senate Appropriations Committee that he would not fire Mueller without the necessary good cause, and that he had not seen any yet. After that performance, Trump could not count on Rosenstein to fire Mueller, and the process for moving Rosenstein out began swiftly. Once reports surfaced that Mueller was investigating the possibility that Trump had obstructed justice by firing FBI Director Comey, it took only a tweet to put Rosenstein in the hot seat. And that was Trump's June 16th tweet: "I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt!" Of course, Rosenstein testified that he was tasked with putting up, a think piece, specifically about Comey's handling of the Clinton emails, which was a trumped-up, fake story to begin with. And Comey got backed into a corner, specifically by Hillary Clinton haters in the Manhattan FBI office, run and facilitated by Rudy Giuliani, who probably had his own ideas about where he would be placed in any administration. He was hoping it might be him, President of the United States. And Rosenstein said, yeah, he did some weird stuff, but, some people get backed into a corner also. Then Trump's personal attorney followed up on the Sunday morning talk show circuit, reviving the false story that Rosenstein's May 9th memo led Trump to fire Comey. Bottom line, if Mueller's investigation includes the circumstances surrounding Comey's firing, Rosenstein will likely become a witness and may feel compelled to recuse himself from supervising Mueller. But Trump cannot count on Brand or Boente. If Rosenstein drops out, Rachel Brand takes the stage, and the Senate confirmed her as Associate Attorney General on May 18th. A longtime Republican, she worked on Elizabeth Dole's presidential campaign and in the Office of Legal Policy for President George W. Bush's Justice Department. But brand solid Republican credentials are irrelevant to her personal and professional integrity. Benjamin Witz, a friend in whom then FBI James Comey confided some of his concerns about Trump, tweeted also on June 16th, I think very highly of Rachel, who is a friend, a patriot, and a person in whom I have confidence. But if you're Steve Bannon and you want to deconstruct the administrative state, it doesn't matter about your Republican bona fides, especially if it's for, like, Elizabeth Dole, George W. Bush. They hate those people. Because apparently they're not Russian enough. So for 3 months after he fired every incumbent U.S. attorney, Trump didn't nominate any replacements. And on June 12th, the same day, Trump's longtime friend and chief executive of Newsmax Media, Chris Ruddy, visited the White House and then said on the PBS NewsHour that Trump was considering perhaps terminating the special counsel. Trump then announced his first wave of nominees, and there's scores of them. Once confirmed, each of these U.S. attorneys becomes eligible for the Justice Department's line of succession. He's making sure he has a Robert Bork in every U.S. attorney position that he never... yeah. You got to hand it to Roger Stone and Steve Bannon. Well, this is where it didn't work with Nixon, and this isn't where it didn't work really that well with Reagan. And my time with Dick Cheney, I mean, we could have done things a little bit differently to shore it up. Here's how we shore it up. And then you move him through the Senate. And you got toadies there, don't you? Yes, you do. I'm looking at you, Mitch. So who can stop Trump? Sherrod Brown could halt the confirmation hearing on Trump's Ohio nominee by using the Senate's traditional blue slip process to express disapproval. Well, that could be one way. Okay, it's possible that Trump won't fire Mueller and precipitate a constitutional crisis, but that would require unprecedented Trump behavior, the country ahead of his personal self-interest, and no way is he going to do that. The only thing that's going to stop him from his own self-interest is if Putin likes it or doesn't like it. Then he'll kowtow to something outside of his special interest. Because actually, intellectually, it's not really outside of his special interest because it's still within his special interest to, stay alive. Firing Mueller will mark a new low in Trump's scorched earth attack on established norms and the rule of law. And every patriot should pray that Mueller wins that lawsuit to keep his job. Indeed. All right. Well, I always like stories about super volcanoes. There's also the story because it's going to be Asteroid Appreciation Day on June 30th,
There you go.
And so, there's scientists in the UK saying, a big one, like, bigger than the one that took out Kakunsk, the Russian Siberian asteroid meteor that took out Siberia in 1908. Massive, what, hundreds or thousands of square miles, millions of trees flattened. And so I always love those stories. But, the Yellowstone caldera, going up hasn't happened for quite a while. And some people would say it's due. Hannah Osborne out of Newsweek.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
The Yellowstone supervolcano has been hit by a series of earthquakes with more than 30 recorded since June 12th. The latest was recorded on Monday, June 19th, with a magnitude 3 striking 8.6 miles northeast of West Yellowstone in Montana. The swarm began last week, and on June 15th saw magnitude 4.5. That's a trembler.
Yep.
The epicenter of the shock was located in Yellowstone National Park, and the earthquake was reportedly felt in the towns of West Yellowstone and Gardner, Montana, also in Yellowstone National Park, and elsewhere in the surrounding area, and you would expect that. The reason why these relatively small earthquakes are important is that when Mount St. Helens went, for weeks beforehand, a lot of smaller earthquakes were happening, and now we know it was magma making its way up the channels. And what we have to envision about Yellowstone is that, it looks flat, doesn't look like a volcano. You have to think of Yellowstone as being one giant crater. And that's a huge amount of area. We're talking, 100, 200 square miles of a volcanic crater going up all at once. Yeah.
Yeah, it's monster size. Yep.
Wouldn't want that. Let's see. I'm trying to find when the last time it went up. It's like 700,000 years ago. The probability of a large eruption at Yellowstone in the next year is currently calculated at 1 in 730,000. So maybe that's where I got the 700,000. But it's been a considerable time since the last earthquake that probably might have had something to do with the extermination of the dinosaurs, just because that's what we do. All right. If it does blow, most of the country will be covered in volcanic ash up to 1 meter deep, and that's never good because when that gets wet, when it dries out, it becomes concrete. So 1 meter, that's not good.
No.
Bad. Hey, all right. Well, we've really gone over our broadcast time for Friday, but we're in our buffer period before Hartman comes up, which will be 6 minutes after the hour. We'll listen to Cafe Americains L'Amour in the interim. Live Netroots Radio Talk Radio will occur Saturday night with Wink and Roaring Girl and the Roundtable Roundhouse Power Hour, 9 p.m. on the West Coast, midnight on the East Coast. Of course, 2-hour opportunity on Sunday night with Jibber Your Jabber with Wink, 9 p.m. West, midnight East.
Yep.
Hey, stay tuned to Netroots Radio 24/7, 365, and why? Because who loves you, baby? Okay, Wink. We'll see everybody on Monday, bright and bushy, same time, same station, and I will see you on the other side.
All right. We're out.